friends, I welcome you to our question and answer series of our channel Zazen Tarot Space. In this series, we take up questions of our viewers. So, there is a question by Mr. Ramesh Keswani. He says that if we do not have knowledge of how to take out spreads, if we don't know any spreads in tarot card reading, then how can we intuitively read in a freestyle manner so that we get perfect replies and perfect readings? Friends, I'm giving you a small, little tip here how to do this very thing, and you can take this up as your homework if you like. So, whatever question you have, you think of that question. You take your cards. Now, out of 78 cards, since you are still a beginner, this question, if you've asked this question, you're obviously still in the initial stages of learning tarot. So, don't feel that pressure that you have to take all the 78 cards. If you know the meaning of only 20 cards, you can pick up 20 out of the 78 cards. If you know the meanings of 40 cards, pick up 40 out of the 78 cards. Pick up whatever cards that you know the meaning of. Shuffle those cards along with thinking in your mind the question that you want to ask. Clear your mind, first and foremost, clear your mind, close your eyes, clear your mind of all thoughts. Then take these cards, shuffle your cards while thinking about the question. Keep shuffling. You can cut the cards if you like. Now, while still thinking about the question, pick up any one card in response to the question. For example, your question is, let's say, will I be able to get this job? Okay, so when you're asking this question, will I be able to get this job? Keep your focus and your mind and everything on this question. Your mind should not be wandering here and there. Now, pull out one card and look at the card. You would be knowing the meaning of the card as it is. Now, since you know the meaning of the card, you have to next relate. If you feel that you're not sure of the meaning of the card, you can go through the meaning of the card. Now it is time to relate the question to the answer. So think, my question was, will I be able to get this job? And now think that this is the card that I have pulled up in response to this question. What does the card seem to be telling me? Do not jump at a conclusion. Do not immediately settle for a yes or a no. You have to study the meaning of the card. The card may be telling you a lot more than just a yes or a no. So, for example, let's say I pull up the card that I pull up is Magician card. Magician has the power to create anything new. So yes, you could have the job. On the other hand, the Magician is also a trickster. So, it is possible that you may be able to get the job, but it may land you into a tricky situation. Or else maybe the Magician is symbolizing your boss, who seems to be a trickster. Or maybe the job offers you new openings in all the 4 levels, because the Magician has the cups, the pentacles, the sword and the wands. So maybe it is trying to tell you that you will be able to manifest anything and everything through this job. But also being the trickster, it could say that you need to be wary of some kind of a situation which could be malicious. So look at all the possible interpretations of the cards. Sometimes it really helps. The way I used to do it personally is that whenever I had a question, I would ask the question, then I would look at my notes, read through my notes, that this is what this card means, these are the possibilities. So what all could the card possibly trying to tell me? it is possible that sometimes what the card is trying to tell us is not a yes or a no. Or maybe it is trying to, just don't settle immediately for a yes or a no. For example, if you draw the 9 of Swords card in response to this, you cannot just say that no, the answer is no. It is also possible that you may get the job, but it will be so strenuous that it will give you sleepless nights. That is also a possibility. Also, I always recommend that in the initial few months or even up to a year or so, you note the question that you have asked, especially for the short-term questions will come true, which will come true within a few days to a week or a max a month. Write down the question and also write down the card that you drew in response to that question. Then when the situation materializes and manifests, after that you see, read the card, read the question again, look at the card again and see that was it that in the beginning your predictions may not be completely accurate. So just see that if my prediction was accurate, why was it accurate? If it was not accurate, then was the card trying to tell me something else? Because now when the entire situation has come through, you may be able to see additional meanings which you were not able to see earlier. Maybe the card was trying to tell you something else and you understood something else. Once you have done that, friends, after that, this is the simplest situation where you just want to ask a single question. Now there may be situations where you want to ask more complex questions, but to begin with, you stick with this, do this for a few questions. After that, after you have done that, for more complex questions, divide the questions until you have gathered enough knowledge of all the cards and all the spreads. You break down the complex questions into simpler, smaller questions. What will you do? You will pick up the card and you will say that, okay, fine. Now, pick up the question. You will say, now, fine. Suppose, let's say the question is about relationship between two people and you want a 360-degree overview and you will not be able to get that with a single card. So you break it down that, okay, this is person A, this is person B. Let me take out one card which depicts the character of person A. Or let me take out one card which depicts what the person A is bringing into the relationship. Now let me pick up one card which depicts what the person B is bringing into the relationship. Whatever it is completely free. You are free to use your imagination, your thinking, your thought process. Whatever question you want to frame is up to you. But divide the big situation into small, tiny questions and pick up one card at a time. When you do this to begin with, it will seem like a very big exercise, it will seem very difficult, but after the first 8 to 10 such big questions, not only will it make your readings faster and simpler after the first 8 to 10 questions, but also when you learn the spreads, it will make your understanding of the spreads also much simpler. So, for example, in the same relationship thing, maybe you could divide it into this, that what are the complications in this relationship, and take out one card. What are the happinesses or what are the sources of good things? What is it that is good in this relationship? What can the people do, or what can A do to improve the relationship? What can B do to improve the relationship? These are very complicated questions when you try to, as a beginner, look at a card, you know the meaning of the card, but when you have to apply it, the application, don't get discouraged if it is difficult. To begin with, application is very difficult and tricky, but you keep doing it, you'll be able to see it, you will be able to see yourself improve gradually. So for these kinds of complicated questions, take out one question and one card at a time. understand the card, understand what it means in response to the question. Keep doing this and keep saving the card and the question, and then eventually add up all the cards and see what the whole thing seems to be like. You may not be able to do it right away, you may not be able to do it in the first one, you will feel completely blank in the first one, but by the time you've done 5 or 10 such questions, or if not 5 or 10, not an issue, 15, 20, 25 such questions, don't get discouraged, keep doing it. By the 10th or the 20th question, you will be able to make out at least some sense of what the cards are trying to tell you. Once you've done 25, 30, 35, 40 such questions, it will come a little more easily to you. It takes time and patience. Right, friends? So, I will leave you with this exercise. You practice your cards daily. And you start with situations which are close to you and short-term situations which you will get to know the result of immediately, maybe within 2 days, 10 days or so that you can understand where you went wrong and where you went right. Right, friends? So I will leave you with this exercise. All the best. If you face any difficulties, any issues, please feel free to comment.